Hello. So this video here came requested to me by one of my viewers, and for that, I don't got a lot of subscribers, so I'm gonna give you what you want. It was about my 90-gallon aquarium. So basically, this is a saltwater tank. It's 90 gallons up top, and it's got a 20-gallon sump refugium. In the refugium is where I run my skimmer, and I have a little bit of chatto. I have my return pump, and I have two next reef reactors. And pretty much what these things do is, if you put carbon in there or GFO, it sucks the water out, forces it through the medicine, and then dumps it back into your tank. So it's just the best way to make complete contact with the medicine. So let me tell you what's going on here before you all start talking about it's dirty, it's filthy, yada yada. So with salt water, you got to take it a little slower than fresh. You got to let the water activate, so to speak. And some of the things that can help it are live sand, live rock, introducing, some bacteria to boost your water. Now, once you start adding fish, you want to do it really slowly and so on. However, I was that guy that wanted the tank species so bad that I threw one in here on the 3rd month. Not so bad, all my parameters were good. Was it a little early? Yes. On top of that, I am also that guy that wanted more than one. Now, for the size of my tank, it was recommended to only have 2, and also to introduce them at the same time, and also to make sure it's not like they're opposite. And I totally went against all of that, and I did it anyway. So let me explain to you what happened. First tank I got was the big dory. She looked so beautiful. She was such a meaty eater that I didn't even think I could introduce anybody more to the tank. A week later, I threw in the sailfin. They got along perfect. They were a little bumpy the first couple of days, so on and so forth. The baby blue tang, it was such a good deal from a friend getting rid of him because he could not maintain his aquarium, that I bought him for 40 bucks. So I had to threw him in there, and he did fine. He started following the big hippo tang, the big dory. I always wanted a blonde Nasso, and they told me you can't put a Nasso because I already have the sailfin. And I did it anyways. So there's the blonde Nasso. She's not blonde right now. What's really cool is that she changes her color. She'll be real light, and then when she's feeding, she'll be real dark. So anyways, sure enough, now I got 4 tangs all introduced within a month, and they are kind of fighting, which is expected. So to lower that down, I was heavily feeding. Lower that, bro? I was heavily feeding and trying to, show them that there's a lot of food. On top of that, I put about 60 more pounds of live rock, and that's when it hit. One of the #1 rules is that my tank wasn't fully established. You don't bombard it with such bioload in such a short period of time. And I said, and I did it anyways. So this is the end result. Now, contract to popular belief, it's not bad for the tank. It is theoretically absorbing a lot of the impurities and nutrients in the tank. And it does release oxygen. Look, if you look real closely at the pump there, you'll see the bubbles. So it's kind of good, but it is like stickers in your yard. You just don't want it. Not to mention, I'm already starting to get cyanobacteria. That is actually bad. So basically what I'm doing is I'm letting it take its course. I'm just monitoring it. So show you some of the things that I have to monitor it. So when I said I was monitoring, one of the things that's going to be more beneficial than anything else is your skimmer. Now this skimmer is actually for my 250 gallon that I have in my man cave, but I have it right now in this aquarium so it can do its job. Basically what it does is the pump down there sucks in the water. It also mixes with air, and it makes a bubble so fine that all the impurity and the dirt and harmful stuff just attracts to the bubble. The bubble slowly builds up, hits the roof, and pops into the collection cup. And if you can see what it's collected, this is just in a few days. So essentially you just take off this cup, you empty it, clean it, come back again. That right there does everything. It eliminates frequent water changes. It's much needed when you either go reef or with a lot of fish that make a lot of waste like the tangs do. On top of that, I recently purchased a little bit of chatto. That right there, it's gonna grow, believe it or not. and that also absorbs impurities in the water. It also is been known to absorb a lot of nitrate, and it's also a good environment for copepods, tiger pods. So eventually it'll get there. And then there's my 2 reactors. I'm running carbon here to keep the tank nice and clean, nice and clear from being looking yellow, also from smelling like water. And then I have GFO. I'm not running GFO right now. I ran it 2 weeks strong and I turned it off because I don't want it bleaching or leaking back into my tank, even though they say GFO is not common for that. But if you look closely, the sand's already starting to clear up. It looked like this, all of it. And it's cleaning up very, very good. Not to mention I have a sand sifting star. I don't know if you can see him. He's in there. But anyways, so yeah, so I have the big blue tang, the baby blue tang. I have the Selfin tang and the blonde Nassau tang. I also have, I don't know if he's a Royal Grandma, but he's definitely a dotty back. I have the 2 clowns, one being the black and white, which she's definitely the female. And I have the 2 pajama cardinals. They call them pajamas because if you look at their body, it looks like they're wearing pajamas. I also have 1 single Zoa frag right there called a Rasta. And I have my first leather right there, which he's a tall tale sign of the condition of my water. Because when he extends his polyps, everything's good. When he sucks them all in, time for a water change. And he's a green tip. So basically what I'll be doing is I'm going to fill up my 30-gallon trash can, and I'm going to siphon out all of the cyanobacteria, just the red stuff. Okay, and the tube that I use is about as thick as where I can put my finger in, and all I do is just touch it and just suck it up. I don't want to disturb it. Maybe I'll just get it just high enough to suck up what's on the sand, and that's it. I don't want to disturb it. I'll do maybe 20 gallons once a week. Because it's already dying off. Look, you can already see underneath the rock where the light doesn't hit. All the background, look, it's about 50% on the background when it was 100. And I've also reduced my light to about 4 hours. So slowly but surely, here I got their favorite brine shrimp. Let me feed them and I'll come back and show you all that. Alright, so here we are with their brine shrimp. Basically what I do is I get a little bit of the tank water, put it in the cup, just like very little. Throw the cube in there and then like strain all the water out, and I only put the brine shrimp. This is only half a cube because I'm also feeding them less now that my tangs are a little more friendly. I've had them all for about a month. I don't put the whole cube, just about half, so they can eat a lot of it, and even half might be too much. But look, see, there goes the blonde. Look, she took off her dark coat and she looks nice again. But look at Dory, the big one. She's just a beast at eating. She fights off everybody to eat as much as she can. So yeah, I do still gotta feed pretty heavily. And look, this guy right there, I just got him. I have 2 and they're doing really well and they really do help. So yeah, so once again, what is happening with my tank has to happen. Had I taken it slower, this would not have happened. The aquarium was pristine when I just had like 2 or 3 fish. But once I added the tangs, and as many as I added in the time that I added, and then the rock, expect this to happen. So yeah, it's just a nuisance. It's actually a bacteria. You gotta wait for it. Here's my goby. Look, this is one of the long gobies. He's just an interesting guy. And he makes these tunnels everywhere. And he swims backwards. But yeah, look, he carves these caves. So I put these rocks over here to make a cave for him. And but he just moves everywhere. So I hope he doesn't collapse my rocks. But you can see caverns that he's built all in there. So yeah, here it is. Tank's maybe about 5 months old now, maybe. Let me turn off the clicker on the zoom. It sounds like shit. Yeah, so it's about 5 months old. And it's doing good. I also forgot to say the Koran angel. That guy made an entrance when I got him. You can tell he's a little guy because he's still got the stripes. He's not in juvenile stage yet. But anybody who wants to know more about the Koran angel, what's so special about him, just Google him. And you'll see that throughout his life, from juvenile to adult, he changes pattern. And he's just such an amazing fish. But these guys will stay here probably for another 6 more months, and then I'll throw them into the 200 because that one still needs a lot of prepping and a lot of coins. So thank you all that stuck out the whole video to see my little project. I'll update you all when all of this diatom outbreak or new tank syndrome kind of simmers down, so y'all can see the end result. So thank you all that stayed through my whole video. If y'all have any questions about my aquarium, about how to do it, or maybe what I spend, or just anything in general about my fish, let me know. Shoot me a text. Give me a subscribe. Anybody that wants to see more videos of my tank or just has questions about it. And we'll see you guys on the next.